Good evening, darts fans, and welcome to the Phase 5 Champions Week Finals. It's a very big night for 6 players, and it's going to be a lot of entertainment for you guys tuning in on Sporty Stuff TV tonight. It is my privilege. I am Paul the Asset Nicholson calling in tonight's action, and we have £15,000 in prize money to give away tonight, including £6,000 for the winner. We'll talk more about the players involved tonight in a little bit of time, but what we're going to do first is look at what happened in Group A earlier this week. On Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, we had a qualifying group, which was 15 games per player for 6 players that qualified through the previous 4 weeks of qualifying, which you may have seen, of course, on Sporty Stuff TV and on YouTube. But Group A did materialise just like this. Ryan Finesse was the man who topped the group. He pipped Richie Burnett and Robert Thornton and Connor Scutt. They went into Group B. Scott Williams and Martin Adams then graduated to Group C. But what we can tell you is that only one of those players in that list, Ryan Finesse, got his automatic spot through to the finals tonight via Group A. Now, before we go any further, we just want to show you a finish from about a week ago, which was really important for Ryan Finesse, because if he didn't hit this, he wouldn't be here.
12.
Just look at the predicament that he was in. He was 3-0 down to Carl Hamilton of County Durham. Carl leaves 36 to win the match, and at that point, the Jackal had not missed a double. Ryan Finesse gets a shot at double 12. Takes the 1-4-1.
What a finish
after
from
that,
Ryan Furness.
what did he go on and do? He won that match, and because he won that match, his week started to actually bear fruit, because it got him into the finals for last week. So if he didn't hit that, he wasn't going to progress through to the finals on Saturday night last week, and he wouldn't be here tonight. So that finish is definitely worth seeing again. So that's how Group A finished. Let's have a little look at how Group C materialised, and that was played over the course of Thursday and Friday during the day, and it was Shaun Griffiths who won this group. Mike Warburton also qualified in second position. The rest of the players, including Williams and Adams from the previous few days, they were set aside. As far as the rest is concerned, it was all down to Group B, and of course, let's have a little look at the table for that group, which happened over the last couple of nights. Robert Thornton won a tight group. Jim Williams was just behind him. Connor Scutt just behind him, and getting through by one leg over Mark Webster. They are our competitors going into tonight. We split them into 2 different groups. Really looking forward to this, because 2 games per player per group. And then if they do well in these groups, the top 2 from each group will go forward to the semi-finals. And the winners of the semi-finals will go into the grand final a little bit later into Sunday morning. But Ryan Finesse and Jim Williams will get us started in Group 1. Robert Thornton and Shaun Griffiths will be starting us off in Group 2. So that's what we've got to look forward to. So I hope you've got the kettle boiled. I hope you've got the cuppa ready, because for the next 3.5 hours, it's all about what they do tonight. It'll be Happy Halloween to somebody, but let's look at Game 1 first. What have we got coming up? We've got Jim Williams, I can tell you that, and he's playing against the winner of Group A, Ryan Finesse. You got a little preview of what Ryan can do in that instant replay at the start of our show tonight. But he's up against arguably the favourite for the title tonight in Jim Williams. 28-year-old from Salisbury, which is in Wiltshire. He's using a dart that was designed by yours truly. Jim Williams, a little bit older than Ryan is, but has an amazing amount of experience for a 36-year-old, and his career is just about to go a little bit more skyward. And I'm not just talking about tonight. He will grace the Pro Tour in the PDC for the next couple of years because of the season he's had. He topped the Challenge Tour Order of Merit.
Will be Ryan to throw first. Game on.
But his immediate challenge is to try and do something that nobody else has done here this year. And that is to win
140
Phase titles. He won the Phase 3 Champions Week finals by beating Fallon Sherrick on that occasion in the final. And he's the only person in this entire evening who has won on a Saturday night before. So for me, he is the overwhelming favourite.
85.
And forget about the fact that he started with a maximum. Over the course of the first few games, we will check a bit of insight that I have researched about their Phase 5 efforts, because this, of course, is the end of Phase 5. Phase 6 will start on Monday morning.
100.
And I will outline the players who will be here Monday morning and the rest of the week in due course. But Jim Williams in Phase 5 has played 20 matches with 11 wins for a win percentage of 55%.
100.
Which is pretty solid. He has the best running average in this phase of all of the players here tonight. 92.33.
129.
He also has the best running checkout percentage as well of 38.41%. And don't forget, Jim started with a maximum in this leg.
99.
And he could lose it.
Ryan, you require 47.
To the somewhat stealth brilliance of Ryan Furness. That's a miss at the single number. It leaves 31. Double 10. And he fixes it really well.
Ryan
Don't
Furness.
doubt this young man from Salisbury, because next to nobody in the game knew a great deal about him until maybe 2 weeks ago.
First. Game on.
I've got to be honest, I only joined the team this week on Thursday, and I looked at the results earlier in the week and said, in all honesty, I don't know a great deal about Ryan. I know a little bit more now. And if he goes on to win tonight,
60.
there are going to be a plethora of people thinking, what does his future hold in this game? His group involves Mike Warburton as well as Jim
140.
Williams. So he's up against the two Welsh players tonight. The top two positions in the group will go forward to the semi-finals.
100.
The winner of Group 1 will play in semi-final number 1. The runner-up in the group will play in semi-final number 2. That way the winners of the groups don't play each other.
140.
And just watch out for the capabilities of some of these players, because they have had some very good performances in this phase. In fact, 5 of the 6 players tonight have had a personal best in this room in Phase 5. That's okay from Williams. Leaves himself on 64 after 12.
$58.
Looks like this one is going with the throw in the first couple of legs. Just a little bit of early jousting.
Game shot this
that
second
is very
leg.
good.
Jim
Very
Williams.
sharp from Jim Williams. 2 darts to take care of 64, and a 14 darter levels things up at 1-1. So over to leg 3.
Third leg, it's Ryan to throw first.
Let's have a look at the stats for Ryan Finesse then. In Phase 5, he has played 29 matches.
96.
With a very impressive 19 wins. Win percentage, 10% better than Jim Williams. 65.52%. And the only person who has a better Phase 5 win percentage than
80.
him is the other person in this group, Mike Warburton. And this is the thing that puzzles me as to why I have not heard
100.
more about Ryan. He's had a running average over 29 matches of just under 92. That is really good. It's hovering close to world class over that kind of distance. He's got a personal best average of 106.08. But if I'm being extremely picky, and I mean this is some world-class picking of nits, he's got the lowest personal best checkout of everybody in this field. But does that mean a great deal? Probably not.
59.
141 is his best, and we've already seen it on camera tonight. It was that shot that he hit against Carl Hamilton. Single-handedly, the biggest shot of his entire phase. As he gets a 177 to leave 32 after 12. Doesn't matter what Jim does here. Even with that second maximum of this match from him.
32.
It's all about what Ryan does. Getting closer.
No score.
But not close enough.
Jimmy requires 60.
So that maximum from Jim Williams did matter. Double top for the first break of throw of the night.
40.
We get confirmation from the referee that it's not
Ryan
in.
requires 32.
And Finesse can be counting himself as very fortunate to get a second bite of the cherry. So he's at the halfway point in this match, but I'm intrigued to see what happens next. If it's a break of throw for Ryan, he is firmly in charge.
Fourth leg, it's Jim to throw first. Game on.
Talked about the personal best average of Ryan Finesse. What about Jim Williams?
139.
103.66. And strangely, that is the fifth best of all of the players in this group. And
60.
indeed in Group 2 as well. Nobody eclipses the personal best average of the year, in fact, of Mike Warburton, 115.62. That is the third best of any player.
180.
Speaking of 3, that is the third maximum of the match for Jim Williams.
100.
You already sense that this game is going to 7 legs. If the players cannot be separated on points at the end of the group, we'll go to leg difference. They get 2 points for a win and nothing for a loss. Jim just stepping back. He's got 114 points in the bank. Oh, look at that.
150.
That's what we call the hurdle. That is what you call a maximum hurdle as well. 3 big trebles
92.
with a gap in between.
Jimmy requires 32.
You don't see that very often. Jim's turn at double 16.
Game
and
shot
that
in the
is
fourth
great.
leg. Jim Williams.
That's not good. That is great because that's an 11 darter to level things up at 2-2. I am thoroughly enjoying this match. I hope you are too.
Fifth leg, it's Ryan to throw first.
So if we can't separate them on
100.
points, we'll look at leg difference. And because it's such a short format, there is the possibility, of course, that we can't separate them on leg difference. So we look at legs 1. If we can't separate them on that, we look at averages. But that's the 4th maximum in this match, and they've all come from Jim.
140.
I'm flabbergasted by the averages right now because it's been such a good game. But there's 22 points between them in the averages. Yes, you didn't mishear me there. 22 points. 88 for Ryan Furness, 110 for Jim Williams.
140.
And if Ryan can get out of this match with the points and defy what Jim is doing statistically, he may be a wizard.
58.
He's got 6 darts from 121 to put him within 1 leg of victory against tonight's favourite.
97.
And he sets it up on double 12. He's proving to be a very tricky player to beat.
140.
But he doesn't want to have a mishap here on double 12. Oh boy, how has that not gone in?
Jim, you require 64.
This is the biggest visit of the match. He was given a chance a little bit earlier by 3 misses at double 16 from Ryan. He didn't take it. And he's missed the single. Wow, I didn't expect that. Any of the next 2 singles up would have given him a shot at the double.
32. Ryan, you require 24.
Ryan's one lucky boy. Double 6. And he's missed 6 darts to win this 5th leg.
Jimmy requires 30.
I called Ryan the lucky boy, but maybe Jim is the one riding his luck. What a dramatic 5th leg. Is it taken by the Welshman?
24.
No. Not yet anyway.
Ryan, you require 6.
Because this is no gimme.
Game
double 3 is taken, and
Ryan
that is a 20 darter. We've had 14 darters, we've had 11 darters in this match, but that 20 darter may prove to be the most important one of the lot.
6th leg. It's Jim to throw first. Game on.
At this juncture, let me inform you of what prize money we have on offer tonight, because this is, of course,
60.
What is classified by Vernon Wells in Commando as payday. One of my favourite terrible movies. When he says to Arnold Schwarzenegger, "Do you know what today is, Matrix? Payday." Well, whoever wins tonight gets £6,000. Runner-up gets 3,000. If you win the 3rd place playoff after losing in the semi-finals, you get £2,000, and 4th place gets 1,500.
180.
If you do not make the semi-finals, you'll get £1,000, but there is a little cherry elsewhere as well. If you get the biggest finish of the night, you get a bonus of 500 quid. So watch out for the big finishes.
60.
We've had 5 180s in this match now, as Ryan Finesse has got his first. He might have another.
140.
He's making a move. Over the last couple of legs, he has scored better than Jim Williams. And he's on the cusp of victory.
92.
Williams has maintained that 100 average throughout the match. But he's on the cusp of defeat. Double 18.
85.
There is nothing that Jim Williams can do. And maybe too many occasions have arisen in this match where he has had to chase.
59. Ryan, you require 36.
To win with a 2-leg gap. He has won by 4 legs to 2. He's had a couple of days off. Jim Williams played over the last couple of nights in Group B, but Ryan Finesse had Thursday and Friday off, and he's come back with a win, defying an average more than 9 above him. So he gets the points, and Jim Williams has to wait to play Mike Warburton, and it will all rest on that match. So let's take a short break, and we'll have a little look at Group 2. And it will be Robert Thornton up against Shaun Griffiths, which is the first match of Group 2. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to finals night in Phase 5. It is, of course, Champions Week, so the money is on the line tonight. We've seen our first game in Group 1, so let's revert our attention to Group 2. Let's have a little look at one of the all-time greats, Robert Thornton, who will be up against the Group C winner in Shaun Griffiths. 29-year-old from Manchester, two-time Winmore World Youth Master, as it was called back then.
First leg will be Robert to throw first. Game on.
So we are looking at two World Masters. A two-time World Youth Master, and Robert, of course, won the big one.
24.
Around about 14 years ago now. Doesn't seem like 14 years ago. But he's played the last 5 days as Robert. He didn't get his ticket to the finals here via Group A. He had to go through 2 groups to get here. But he did win Group B.
134.
So what we have here is the winner of Group B and the winner of Group C. So they're not used to losing much.
$100.
Shaun should be very proud of his efforts in Group C this week. Did a very good job of picking up 14 points.
180.
But it's going to be a step up in class tonight. It has to be said. That's no disrespect to the group that he had. But when you put him up against the likes of Thornton, Williams, and Finesse, because of him winning Group A in such style,
100.
He's going to have his best day of the week without a shadow of a doubt. We'll dig more into his stats in the next leg.
100.
But this first leg has been brilliant. So rude of me to talk over the way these guys have played. Griffiths can't take the 121 now. And he needs a 60 to leave a double.
44.
Decided not to risk it.
Robert, you require 63.
Double 12. And Thornton is in the groove because he starts with a sub-15 leg. And if he maintains that kind of tenacious nature and accuracy, he could well be the man to beat tonight.
Shaun,
especially now that the favourite Jim Williams has lost his first match. Now, at this juncture, let me just say
100.
One of the reasons why Jim Williams is the favourite, or was the favourite, for tonight's title is because he's the only person to have won on a Saturday night before.
180.
Of all of the players that have actually got through to this Champions Week finals in Phase 5, the rest of the players, including Robert Thornton, have not won on a Saturday night.
180.
Our referee, Andy Walsh, is going to need a throat lozenge by the sounds of it because the 180s are flowing tonight.
135.
We've already had 4 in this match, and it's only the middle part of leg 2. Just to put that into context, in the last match we had 5.
140.
In 6 legs. Well done, Robert Thornton. A bad first start, but
Shaun,
recovered brilliantly.
81.
And Griffiths is raising his level here. 12 leaves the bull. That leaves double 13. And that leaves absolutely nothing.
Shaun Griffiths.
That's the name of the game. You've got to leave yourself 0 at the end of the leg. Robert played majestically in that leg, but it wasn't enough. As Shaun equalises at 1-1. Jim Williams is the only player that has won on a Saturday night when he won Phase 3. All of the other players have tried and failed. They have qualified, of course, for Champions Week by playing
100.
on a Saturday night. But none of the other players have won on a Saturday night. Robert, however, has made a final before.
100.
In fact, he's made a couple. He lost to Mark Webster a couple of weeks ago in the Week 3 qualification week. And a few months ago, we had a special trophy to curtain raise Phase 2.
100.
And in that special, he lost out to Richie Burnett in the final of the Sporty Stuff TV trophy.
120.
So is Robert Thornton ready to take that final step? It will be a good time to do it because £6,000 is not something
140.
anybody would say no to. Biggest paycheck in his career was £100,000 for winning the World Grand Prix.
140.
And beating Michael van Gerwen in that final. One of the classic World Grand Prix matches. Look at this from Shaun. He has brought his game this evening.
Robert, you require 80.
Has Thornton got a double 10? Oh, that is so good.
Robert
that second dart was so close to the bed that it was a blocker. And he somehow found pinpoint accuracy to punctuate that third leg and deny Griffiths a shot at double that he had left. I'm not talking about the averages for a reason.
180.
Because I don't. Because I'm superstitious, as a lot of people know. I don't want them to go down. I want them to stay where
60.
they are. They're so good. Griffiths has got 3 maximums now. Robert's got 2.
100.
I can't tell you how much I'm enjoying this game. This is proper darts. There's been a lot of darts going on today around the world.
81.
Big event on in Amsterdam tonight. WDF events going on in Budapest in Hungary. And some of the players who are in Budapest this weekend are going to be playing
100.
here next week. They will be jumping on a plane after their events and coming here to try and qualify for Phase 6 finals.
125. Shaun, you require 121.
Again, Shaun Griffiths is showing huge scoring ability in this match, leaving 121 after 9. He's not going to go for the 51, but he is going to go for the 57.
59.
This leg isn't over yet if Robert Thornton gets a 2-treble visit. He might get more. Oh,
180.
180, number 6 of the match.
Shaun, you require 62.
We've only had 1 missed double in this entire game. He's not going to get a shot at a double because he's missed the single.
22. Robert, you require...
That could be his downfall, that miss at the single. Double 10 again.
Game shot
so good
leg
from Robert Thornton. The average is so big, but his opponent's average is bigger. That's the scary thing.
5th leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on.
I'm not going to say what his average is currently, because I want it to get better.
140.
It could get better. But his personal best is 109.31. And he has hit that in Phase 5 over the course of the last few weeks. Consequently, Shaun Griffiths is the only player tonight
140.
who has not had a ton plus average when playing here this year. In fact, his best is 97.98. I can confirm right now
140.
that his average is a lot bigger than that. But darts is a funny old game sometimes. You might be putting in your best performance of the year, and you may lose. And he might lose by 4 legs to 1. One thing I will
95.
say is if Robert Thornton hits this
Robert, you
at this visit,
81.
it will be a personal best. At least in this room.
21.
Robert! What was that? That was very lazy. He has a little bit of banter with Shaun about that one. You don't often see Robert Thornton miss a single. And even more so, you don't see Robert Thornton missing a single high and out of the board.
81. Robert, you require 60.
60 for the match and for 2 points in Group 2. Double 10. It was
Game,
bound to happen
shot,
because
and
double
the match.
10 was so
Robert
good to
Thornton.
him. 3 double 10s in that match. And you can see from the expression of Shaun Griffiths after this replay that he did raise his game, but it wasn't enough. 107.82 and a personal best of the year, average-wise, for Shaun Griffiths by a good 7 points. But he gets done by 4 legs to 1. So Group 2 starts with a bang. When we come back after the break, we are going to see more from Group 1. And it's going to be Mike Warburton making his bow for the first time tonight. He's up against Ryan Finesse. And if Ryan Finesse wins that match, he's in the semi-finals. So stay tuned. We'll see that one after the break. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. I am Paul the Asset Nicholson and it is of course Champions Week Finals for Phase 5 and we are about to have our second match in Group 1 as we say hello to Mike Warburton. He's up against someone who has already won tonight, but it's an interesting dynamic for Warby here. Someone who has not done his best on Saturday nights here previously. But there are some reasons why maybe tonight could be his night. We'll go into that in just a second.
First leg, it'll be Mike to throw first. Game on.
Number one, he's got the darts in this match. Secondly, he's coming into Saturday night after playing 2 days, not 5. So he may feel a little fresher.
60.
And third, which is probably the most appropriate thing to say, as much as he wants to win
99.
this game, it would be great if he does. But if he loses, he knows that Game 3 in Group 1 will be a shootout
180.
between himself and Jim Williams to see who goes through to the semi-finals. And of course, if Ryan Finesse wins this game,
100.
he will top Group 1 and play in semi-final number 1. Now here is something to go alongside that thing
41.
for Jim Williams when he plays him. He's never lost to him in this room. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But Ryan Furness is
98.
starting to turn heads. When you're beating an opponent like Jim Williams, like he did in match 1, when Jim was averaging 98,
60.
you have to take notice. He has played the Challenge Tour. He's a good age. He's around late 20s.
55.
We may have unearthed something here with Ryan. I hope we have.
$55. Ryan, you require 149.
He's not going to take this big shot.
90.
He may still fancy a break of throw because this
105.
is not an easy thing to convert early in a match when you haven't had a great deal of success yet. He's got 75 left. So treble 17 is usually the target.
43.
Okay.
Ryan, you require 50.
Treble 13 would have left double 18. But that 13 leaves double top.
Game
and
shot
Ryan
in the
Finesse
first
has
leg.
got a break
Ryan
of throw.
Furness.
He is very much in tune with this challenge. And I think the confidence that he's got from Group A is really starting to show.
Second leg, it's Ryan to throw first. Game on.
Let's have a little look at Group A then. Well, we've got Ryan starting this second leg.
140.
He played 15 games. He won 11 of them. Only the 4 defeats. A running average of 92.12.
100.
He had 24 maximums over the course of 3 days. That is very, very good.
60.
And in winning Group A, he was topping players like Richie Burnett, a former world champion. Robert Thornton,
96.
a former world master and 2-time PDC major champion. Martin Adams, 3-time Lakeside champion. So when you're doing
140
that against players who are playing well, it's not as if Burnett, Thornton, Adams and the other two in the group, Connor Scutt and Scott Williams, were playing poorly. They weren't.
60.
That makes what Ryan Finesse did in Group A even more impressive.
$54.
Doesn't get the 25 to leave the 2 darter, but all is not lost yet. Needs another.
100.
Doesn't get there, and you
Ryan,
fancy
you
Ryan
require
Furness
107.
might get 6 from here. He might only need 3. Well, he definitely needs the next visit now.
71.
After clattering with the wire there.
Mike, you require 140.
But the recovery was perfect. And he is going to come back. Stay there, Mike. Stay there.
81. Ryan, you require 36.
18 to consolidate that break of throw in the first leg.
27.
And that is a big mistake.
Mike, you require 64.
Bit of a freebie here for Warburton. Double 16.
48.
Gives Ryan another chance to hold his own throw.
Ryan, you require 9.
Double 4.
One score.
He will wonder how that did
Mike,
not
you
go
require
in.
16.
That one was very close. It's double 4 this time for Mike.
12.
And he is not taking the chances that are
Ryan,
coming
you
his
require
way.
8.
And
Game
Ryan
shot the
Finesse
second
is
leg.
getting
Ryan
a little bit
Finesse.
fortunate here. It was good darts to break the throw in leg 1, but he really should have had his throw broken back in leg 2, and it wasn't.
Third leg, it's Mike throwing first.
We'll keep an eye on the
85.
highest finish of the night as well, because whoever gets that gets a bonus of £500. It's currently held by Shaun Griffiths of 81. That will change.
$100.
But as far as Mike Warburton is concerned, he came through in Group C in second place behind Shaun Griffiths, and he worked extremely hard to get through that group. 12 points from a possible 20. We didn't see Warby at his best.
100.
In that sentence is a very big compliment. He still got through the group with his B game.
59.
I like it when players are able to do that, because there's something that Mike has been doing all year long whenever he's been here. He's been ultra consistent.
140.
You're always going to get him averaging between 87 and 89. Always.
60.
Over the course of an entire night. Or an entire week anyway. He just finds a way to do that. He needs to find a way to tops.
56.
And if Ryan hits this,
Ryan, you require 142.
I don't sense a way back for the Welshman. Double 11. Oh
Game
boy, that's
shot
the biggest
for
finish of
Mike.
the night, all right.
Ryan Furness.
And not just that, that is the biggest finish he has had in this room all year. 3-0, and he's within one leg of the semi-finals. He is a proper player.
100.
Now, he's not averaging high in this match, but he's not having to. It strikes me like a sledgehammer to the skull
41.
that Ryan Finesse is a really good game player. He does things when he needs to.
61.
He doesn't strike me as the kind of player that suffers with nerves or feeling too much pressure. I met him for the very first time this evening, and he looked like a really calm, cool customer. He is getting very close to qualifying.
140.
He's maybe within 6 darts. And if Warburton doesn't get the win in this in a miraculous fashion, it's a straight shootout between him and Jim Williams in match 5 to see who will join Ryan Finesse in the semi-finals.
100.
And the winner of that match would go into semi-final number 2 to play the winner of group number 2. It might not be over yet, though.
121.
But it's a leave
Ryan,
of 99 with Finesse on 100 for the win, and it's tops.
Game,
special
shot, and the
what
match.
A way to
Ryan
do it.
Furness.
He has blitzed the Welsh players in this group, and Ryan Finesse, after winning Group A on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday is the first person through to the Phase 5 Champions Week Finals semi-finals. It's only an 87 average. He made it look better than that, but that 142 really did take the pressure off. Well done, Ryan. We'll see you in about an hour in the semi-finals. Who is going to join him? Potentially, it could be Robert Thornton, because he won his first match in Group 2, and he's up against Connor Scutt, his first match of the night. That's coming up after this. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to our finals here in Phase 5. It has been an incredible night so far for Ryan Finesse. He has made his way to the semi-finals, but Robert Thornton could join him in the other semi-final by winning Group 2 if he beats the 25-year-old from Surrey, Connor Scutt. Robert put in quite the performance in match number 2 against Shaun Griffiths.
First leg, it'll be Connor to throw first. Game on.
And if we see somebody top that 107.82 average that we saw from the Scutt in match 2, then we are in for a treat.
41.
But these two have seen plenty of each other this week.
48.
In fact, they have played each other 5 times this week. They were both involved in Group A. And by not winning it, they both graduated to Group B.
140.
Played each other the last couple of nights. It's been fairly even, with Robert winning 3 of their 5 matches.
100.
And over the last couple of evening sessions, they've won 1 each. So I would say it's pretty even. But with Robert in this kind of mood.
95.
He looks like a very hungry cheetah who has been denied a meal for a month. He looks ready to hunt.
60.
The situation is pretty simple. If Robert Thornton wins this match, it'll be exactly the same as Group 1.
140.
Thornton would top the group and would play the runner-up of Group 1 in the semi-finals.
83.
And that would set up a shootout between Scutt and Griffiths
85.
for a game at Ryan Finesse now, because he's already in the semi-finals. Like I said, double 10 for Connor for the first leg.
Game shot in the first
and that
leg.
bed
Connor
was very
Scutt.
kind to Robert Thornton in his first match. If it's just as kind to Connor, we may have a more difficult scenario to work out for the semi-finals.
Second leg, it's Robert to throw first. $100.
One of the things that really aids Robert's likelihood of making the semis is the fact that he's won that first game by 4 legs to 0. His leg difference over Shaun Griffiths is hugely advantageous.
140.
And already Shaun is up against it. And what Shaun wants here,
60.
more than anything else, is a Robert Thornton win. He doesn't care whether it's 4-0, 4-3, or somewhere in between. He wants to have a shootout with Connor Scutt. He wants it to be simple.
58.
As far as Connor's performance is concerned in Phase 5, he's got a lot to be proud of.
85.
He has played the second most matches in Phase 5. He's played 42. He's won 24 of them for a win percentage
58.
of 57%. A running average of 91.5, which is extremely good.
140.
A running checkout percentage of 38.37, which is excellent. No matter where you look at his stats, there is something to cheer about.
145. Robert,
And that's very intelligent from Connor to leave the 2 darter. But that's a great dart to set up double 18. And he's hit double 4 for a split second.
Connor, you require 100.
Robert thought that was leg over. They might still be leg over, but is not now.
80.
Double top
Robert,
was
you require
the
28.
try. He only got 1 of them. Double 7. Hard shot this,
14.
because the dart was in the way.
Connor, you require 20.
Double 10 again.
Game
And
shot
there
in
it
the
is.
second leg.
So,
Connor Scutt.
double 10 was good to Thornton, like I said earlier on. But is it starting to bite him back a little bit because his opponent can't miss it?
Third leg, it's Connor to throw first. Game on.
The only person to have played more matches in Phase 5 than Connor Scutt
57.
is Robert Thornton, funnily enough. He's played 50 matches. In fact, he's played 51 because he's already played 1 tonight.
96.
He has won 33 of them. Win percentage of just shy of 65%. Very, very good. But his running average is not as good as Connor's. But when he's got his back against the wall, that's where we see the best from Robert. It's happened to him so many times in his career and in his life.
45.
Whenever he is put in the corner, he seems to be able to swing his way out.
58.
And of course, tonight there is the possibility that someone like a Robert could get through his group and win against an opponent like Connor Scutt
59.
and have to beat him again later in the final.
99.
He sets up a chance to win leg 3. You feel Connor needs to get 2 treble 20s here.
83. Robert
tries his best, but comes up short. Thornton needs tops. And Thornton gets tops.
Leg.
It's 2-1 now, and that break of throw ensures that we are back on throw in this match. So Thornton has rectified what has gone wrong
Robert
so far.
First, game on.
It is not the same level as the Griffiths game, but you can't play like that every game. That was
140.
ridiculous at times. I didn't say the averages about 4 legs into that match because I didn't want to spook it, but I can tell you what they were now.
180.
As we get our first 180 of the night from Connor. Robert was averaging 117 and Shaun was averaging 113
45.
after, I think it was after 3 legs, maybe even 4 legs. They did come down a bit with a couple of missed doubles at the end.
48.
And one silly little mistake from Robert where he missed the board going for a single 20. But 107 for him and 106 for Shaun paints a very fair picture of how good that game was.
$58.
The money on offer tonight. It really does mean something to these players. They could do with the injection of capital to help them with their efforts over the winter.
59. Robert, you require 48.
Their trip towards the Pro Tour for 2022 as well, as Robert Thornton goes for 10s.
28.
And misses it, to my surprise.
Connor, you require 156.
That's the first time he's missed it tonight. In a visit anyway, because he did miss it and then hit it straight after with a wonder dart.
100. Robert, you
require hoping he doesn't miss it this time. And he doesn't. This one's
leg.
tied at 2-2. And of these 2 players, I suppose Robert Thornton has the momentum now. But the one person who's sweating the most in this group is Shaun Griffiths. He's not even playing in this match.
5th leg will be Connor to throw first.
He'll be wondering what he has to do in the next match.
140.
Whether he's just got to win, whether he's got to win by a certain margin.
85.
In round-robin format like this, players hate having to win by a certain margin. They just want to win.
95.
I've been there in the Grand Slam of darts about 10 years ago. Won my first game in the group against Aaron Monk. Won my second game in the group against
83.
Ronnie Baxter. I knew that I wasn't safe. But you think to yourself, I've won 2 games out of 3. Surely I'm close. But in the 3rd game, I lost 5-1 to Steve Beaton, and I was eliminated.
137.
It leaves you shell-shocked.
100.
Connor Scutt, to his credit, has found his
Connie
scoring in leg
require
number 5.
129.
And he's starting to snarl a little bit more tonight. He has been just a little flat the last couple of days.
89.
And I think he's rediscovered something this evening. Maybe just massaging his inner Thornton with a bit of tenacity.
63.
And I like that.
Connor, you require 40.
67% on the doubles so far in this match.
Game
And that
shot
has
in the
just
fifth
improved.
leg. Connor
Because he's
Scott.
now at 75% with 3 hits from 4 attempts. And he's now only 1 leg away from winning this match.
6 leg. It's Robert to throw first. Game on. $96.
Robert has been in positions like this before, but he knows now that he has to hold.
180.
If he doesn't, there's nothing more he can do in this group.
135.
He would have to sit and wait to see what happens in the last match. What is Connor Scutt up to?
139.
I'm amazed he didn't go for the 180 because there was enough room under his other darts to set up a 9-dart try.
60.
One thing we can say is that if Robert is going to lose this match, which is looking more likely by the dart, what he wants
44.
is Connor Scutt to win against Shaun Griffiths. That would mean that Connor would top the group and Robert would be second.
83.
But let's cross that bridge when we come to it, because Connor Scutt has
Connie
got to
require
dispose of 138
138.
first. 619s. That was the route.
62. Robert, you require 127.
Looking for 127 in game and doesn't find it. So if he wants to win, he's going to have to skirt match
Connie
darts
requires
potentially.
76.
There's a lot of gesticulating going on in the background there. It's tops.
Game.
And it's
shot,
a beautiful
match.
clinic on
Connor
the doubles
Scott.
from Connor Scutt. 80% on the checkouts I make it because he was 4 from 5 shots. There you have confirmation of that 80%. That's what won him that match. He gave himself enough chances and he took it every single time he came to the board. A brilliant display from Connor, and he gets his first win of the night. We are going to turn our attention back to Group 1 when we return. That is Group 2 finished for the first couple of matches. But when we come back after the break, it's a shootout between Mike Warburton and Jim Williams, and the winner will go through to the semi-finals. We'll be right back. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League for Saturday night. It's almost Halloween, but not yet. But let's look at Group 1, and it is very, very simple. It is a shootout between two Welsh players to see who goes through to the second semi-final tonight. Let's get cracking. Warburton lost his first game of the night against Ryan Finesse, but it hasn't hurt him, because he now has a simple task.
First
mathematically.
Jim to throw first. Game on.
Not a simple task as far as his opponent is concerned, because these two know each other extremely well.
100.
First things first, let's just get it out the way. Mike Warburton has never lost to Jim Williams on this Oki. They played 3 times on the 23rd, 24th and 25th of September, and Warburton won the
60.
lot. And in every game, he played really well. Averages of 93, 102 and 99. They were proper performances.
140.
If he can find another one, he will ensure that we will
60.
have a new name on a phase winner's check. Phase 2 was won by a Welshman, Richie Burnett. Phase 3 was won by a Welshman, Jim Williams.
140.
He's the only person tonight who could possibly get a second phase win of the year. Phase 4 was won by Charles Barstow of Hampshire.
140. Jimmy require 121.
But Jim really wants this tonight. An extra £6,000 in the bank would help towards next year's expenses for the PDC Pro Tour, which he's already qualified
89.
for. And this is a good start in this shootout.
60. Jimmy require 32.
Double 16 will give him the first leg on the throw.
Game shot in the
that's what
first
he takes
leg.
in
Jim
13
Williams.
darts. That is a bit of a warning sign to Mike Warburton, who still has not won a leg tonight. He's going to have to get one sooner rather than later.
Second leg is Mike throwing first.
The last time Mike was here,
140.
he made his way through to the stage of Champions Week, of course. But the last time he was here on a Saturday night in Champions Week,
80.
it didn't go well. In fact, Jim Williams is the only person who has won on a Saturday night of all of the players here this evening.
100.
And he strikes me as a very focused animal right now. Even though he lost that first game of the night against Ryan Finesse, he still averaged 98. It's not that he played badly.
100.
It really didn't help him that he didn't have the darts in that match. There are certain matches that you play and you feel like you're just not getting all the right spots.
60.
The timing is off. And it's not because of what you're doing, it's because your opponent seems to be doing all the right things at the right times. As for this game,
85.
Jim already seems to be hitting things in a better timed fashion.
$177.
There you go. That is how you leave double 12 after 12. Leaving a double after 12 seems to be the norm for the person throwing first in the legs in this match.
100.
Long may that continue.
Make require 24.
Double 12 will give him his first leg of the evening.
Game shot.
And that's what he gets in 14. So a really good standard so far tonight in this shootout. 13 for Jim Williams, 14 for Warburton. What will we get next in leg 3?
Third leg, it's Jim to throw first. Game on.
More big scores.
139.
Just been doing a bit of digging as well. I'm amazed that these guys have never met in a ranked match
100.
outside of this room. They've been in the same BDO circles for the last few years, and they have never played each other. That has blown my mind. I'm sure they've played each other in some local tournaments.
78.
In Wales, or maybe in northwest England. But they've never met outside this room in a money match that we can find anywhere.
140.
So what we can say, with the information at hand, is that Jim Williams has never beaten Mike Warburton. It would be a very good time to get your first win. Because what it would do is guarantee him a shot at the final.
60.
And Warburton would leave bereft. But he's not going to go far if that happens. Because what I could reveal at this point is that Mike Warburton is going to be involved in Group A next week. He will play on Monday,
100.
Tuesday and Wednesday in a 6-player group. So he is sticking around no matter what happens. But he would love to play in Group A at the start of Phase
100.
6. With a winner's
Jimmy
check in his back pocket
84.
for £6,000. I will list the players for next week in the next leg. 14 for the bull, and he's missed the 14 or the treble, which gives Warburton a chance of leading for the first time tonight against
68.
anybody.
Mike, you require 101.
Treble 19 or 15. He gets one of them. Double 12.
77.
Sails over the top, and Williams is one lucky player to be getting a look at this
16.
double 8.
Game
Doesn't make a
third
mistake.
leg.
And
Jim
he
Williams.
is halfway to the finishing line, which of course is 4 legs. Warburton has had his chance to go in the lead, and he has to fight back now.
Fourth leg, it's Mike to throw first.
Okay, let's look at Monday morning. I don't want to go too far ahead because this is finals night, of course, in Phase 5. It's all about
100.
getting here and having the chance of winning the money. But just to give you an indication of who we have got coming for the start of the next phase, and I can give you some very good news because we have a Belgian player coming on Monday morning by the name of Brian Roman. He's currently ranked the WDF's world #1. That's the big news. We will also have Keelan Kay here.
140.
Kevin Finesse comes back. Mike Warburton will be in Group A. We have a gentleman by the name of Reese Colley coming by for 3 days. And the last name in the hat for Group A
100.
is somebody who made the final in Budapest today, Nick Fulwell. As far as Group B is
100.
concerned, you'll have Matt Dennant, the scholar, Rob Collins and Shaun Griffiths will be part of Group B. So Shaun, who plays in the next match against Connor Scutt, is going to have another little stint here later in the week.
140. Mike, you require 161.
Talk about Group C in a second. We'll just have a look to see whether Warby can do this. He might, you know. Oh, it's a beauty.
Mike
And
Warburton.
that 161 is the biggest finish of the night so far and it's currently earmarked for 500 quid. But most importantly, it gets him back in this match.
Jim to throw first. Game on.
Wow, I knew we were going to get a big finish at some point.
96.
He has had some belters. He has had a 170. He's got the biggest personal best average of anybody in this finals night. 115.62.
100.
He can do wonderful things when he needs to. And boy, did he need that. Speaking of Group C, though, for next week.
96.
We've got David Wawrzewski. We've got Josh Richardson. And Mark Hilton will make his online Darts Live League debut. The man they call Mile High,
41.
who has done bits in the PDC in the last decade. He will be here. It's a very interesting bunch of players for Chris
60.
Mason to be commentating on next week. And for everybody tuning in on Sporty Stuff TV as well. Lots to enjoy, but let's focus on this. It's best of 3 from here.
100.
It's getting very good, this game. The averages, 99 for Jim Williams, 98 for Warby. The winner
85.
still has a chance of winning tonight. The loser is out. The next game between Griffiths and Scutt is way more complicated.
140.
We'll get to that.
Jimmy require 164.
Does Jim hit back with the next biggest finish to 161? 164 also requires a bull.
130.
We held our breath, expectant that 161 was the biggest finish of the night for one leg only. But this one is for tops.
100.
And it was for a 3-2 lead
Jimmy
with a break
25.
of throw in the bank. If he hit that, he was serving for the match the next time he was at the hockey. 88 for the lead again. And
Game
Williams
shot
has
in
hit
the
it.
fifth leg. Jim
He's
Williams.
now 3-2 ahead, and Warburton is at the point of no return. He has to win the next 2 legs, or he will not be in the semi-finals.
6 leg. It's Mike to throw first. Game on.
He's already had one huge show of heroics.
41.
Has he been hit too hard in the first 5 legs of this contest? Does he have enough in the tank? Or is Williams just too good at this point in time?
140.
It's a perfect start, really. Well, not perfect, of course. 180 is perfect.
100.
But if you offered 140 start in that spot, he would have had your hand off. He's taken the darts away from Warburton already. And you don't need to know much more about Jim Williams
140.
to figure out he's a really good closer. A couple of nights ago, he played against Mark Webster, another Welshman. He was involved in a classic. There were 6
60.
breaks of throw in that match. 3 breaks for Mark, 3 breaks for Jim. They went to a last leg shootout, and when Jim had the darts in the last leg, he went out in 11 darts. That is how you close a match out.
60.
Needs another.
81.
Doesn't get it, and he's looking straight
Jimmy
at the exit
require
door.
161.
Because you would fancy Williams to take care of 161 and 6. That's a bit of a slip.
30.
As is that. That's good news for Mike. Because 131 is one of the really most difficult finishes in that range.
89.
What has he done with the last dart? He's got lucky, actually.
Jimmy require
The treble leaves him 130, whereas the single would have left him needing something way more difficult. But look at this from Williams. He needs double 16. And Warburton couldn't look because the 1-3-1 is taken to take him through to the semi-finals. He will be the second placed finisher in Group 1. But what a way to find your way to the last 4 of this Champions Week finals night. It's a great performance. 97.92. Warburton lifted his game from his previous match with Finesse, but ultimately it wasn't enough. The only shining light for him is that 161 checkout might bag him 500 extra pounds. We're going to turn our attention to the next group now with the semi-finalists from Group 1 solidified. Will it be Connor Scutt? Will it be Robert Thornton? Or will it be Shaun Griffiths going through? The next match will decide that. So watch that when we come back. Hello everybody, and thank you for staying with us at this late hour because we're about to finalise our semi-finals. Jim Williams is through to the second semi-final of the night. Ryan Finesse will play in the first one. But who will their opponents be? Group 2 is a little bit tighter, so let's get into the last match between Scutt and Griffiths. I will run through the permutations of this game, of which there are quite a few. So please bear with me when it comes to that. But what we do know is that Shaun Griffiths statistically had his best game when he played Robert Thornton in match 2 of the night, but he lost that game by 4-1. Connor Scutt, though, defeated Robert Thornton by 4-2, which has thrown this group into chaos.
First leg will be Shaun to throw first. Game on.
The person who is furthest behind the 8 ball is Shaun Griffiths, though, because he lost
45.
by 4-1 against Robert Thornton. And the fact that his leg difference is -3 is a big deal.
140.
So here we go. Any win for Connor Scutt here, and he will top the group, and Robert Thornton will be second. If Shaun
60.
is going to get through, he needs to win by 4-0 or 4-1. If that happens, Shaun will progress in second place in the group, and
60.
he will eliminate Connor Scutt from the group. We'll just keep it there. There are a couple of other permutations when it comes to league position.
60.
But I think those two are the most important because they're about who goes through. It's not about where they go through. We can cross that bridge when we come to it.
121.
But if Shaun Griffiths loses 2 legs in this match, he's out. He's playing like a player who was carrying someone on his shoulders. His facial expression at the end of that first match of the night really did tell a story. It's as if he was having a conversation with Robert and he was saying, I played the best that I could possibly play there, and it still wasn't good enough.
100.
That happens in darts sometimes. I certainly remember being on the end of 118 average from Michael van Gerwen in Perth. I didn't play badly. I averaged 103. He made it look like 63.
Connor, you require 80.
But Scutt is very close to getting his first leg of this game. Tops.
40.
And Griffiths has dodged one there.
Shaun, you require 100.
He's going to have to take this. He can afford to lose 1 leg in this match. Another.
60.
Good try. You can see the pressure on his face.
Connor, you require 40.
He really wants to get through, but he's in such a tight spot. Double 10. And Connor Scutt has won the first leg of this contest. So we do now know that Shaun Griffiths, if he has any ambition of getting to the semis, he's got to win the next 4 legs.
Second leg, it's Connor to throw first. Game on.
What this does is it emphasises just how cutthroat this finals format is.
60.
And I think it's a good thing. Because when you get here, you shouldn't have any sort of comfort zone. You should have to win from the off. If you make mistakes,
100.
you should be punished for them. There's a lot of money up for grabs tonight. You shouldn't get any freebies. And knowing Connor Scutt as I do,
100.
I haven't spent a great deal of personal time with him. I have exchanged pleasantries with him here at the Online Darts Live League on a few occasions, but I can see that he's got ambition. You can feel it.
60.
Look at his face there. He is really grinding here.
137.
And the fact that he's playing better tonight than he has the last couple of nights, even though he got through Group B, it's a sign that he's ready to hit a vein of form that he maybe hasn't found this week. A lot of people were saying to me earlier on today that if Shaun played the way he did from Group C the last couple of days, there's no way he'd get through to the semi-finals. And I said, that's true.
59.
With his running average in Phase 5, even though he's done well, that running average would not get him through to the semi-finals. It was only 83.88.
130.
But he has lifted his level tonight. But unfortunately, in this game, he hasn't. And he's on the cusp of elimination, because if Connor Scutt hits this double 8, there is nothing that Shaun Griffiths can do.
Connor, you require 16.
To be assured of his spot in the semi-finals,
no score.
He'll have to wait.
Shaun, you require 142.
We've already seen Ryan Finesse hit this tonight with 2 treble 20s and double 11. It's needed again. And it's not going to happen on this occasion.
$90.
Shaun needs Connor to do what he did in his last visit. He needs another favour. It's the same marker. But it's a very different result. And that ensures that Shaun Griffiths cannot qualify for the semi-finals. The next few legs now are all about who wins the group and who comes second.
Third leg, it's Shaun to throw first.
So that leads me to the next bunch of permutations now that Shaun cannot qualify. He can still win the match, of course. And if he does win by 4 legs to 2 by winning the next 4 legs, Robert Thornton will be top and Connor will be second.
140.
If Shaun wins by 4 legs to 3, Connor will be first and Robert is second. But of course, if Connor wins the match, he will top the group with 2 wins out of 2. Connor does win the match and he goes on to win the group,
140.
He will take on Jim Williams in his semi-final, a man who was averaging around 98 for the night.
30.
And that would set up a Robert Thornton, Ryan Furness semi-final in semi-final 1.
140.
I think we're starting to see a little bit of pressure relieved from Shaun Griffiths. I think he will know that he is not qualifying now and he can just play it. If I were him, what I would do is try and leave 170 45. As much as possible.
Shaun, you require
because
140.
There is, of course, a £500 bonus for the biggest finish of the night. And 161 has been taken by Mike Warburton.
40.
That's the 3rd time I've seen him do that this week. He's been the king of the Robin Hoods. And because he's not changing the stem, it's probably because of the stem.
82. Shaun, you require 100.
Tops to get his first leg in this match. And that is very
Shaun Griffiths.
14 darter from Shaun. And can you see a difference in his demeanour from the first 2 legs of the contest to leg 3? It was faster. It was more rhythmic.
Fourth leg, it's Connor.
It looked more natural.
93.
These two can just play now and see how the chips fall. Of course, Shaun still wants to win. He doesn't want to leave here not winning tonight.
140.
Maybe he wants to lay down a marker for when he returns on Thursday night, when he joins Group B with Rob Collins and Matty Dennant and the bottom 3 place
58.
players from Group A.
$100.
In fact, he's playing in Group B, isn't he? So it's actually the 2nd and 3rd place players. I'm getting my Group B's and C's mixed up.
140.
There's a lot of teeth gritting going on right now with these two. And this game is starting to ignite again.
140.
I'm digging it. Scutt averaging 82 and Shaun 88. And one thing I will say to Connor right now, even though he knows
100.
he's going to be in the semi-final,
Shaun, you
is
require
that whoever he
121.
plays, whether it's Finesse or Jim Williams, an 82 average is not going to cut it. But if he finds 110, he will have a 3-1 lead.
Connor, you require 110.
Treble 18 maybe. Gets it for double 18.
Game
That
shot
is
in
a
the fourth
beautiful
leg.
finish
Connor
from
Scutt.
the 25-year-old from Surrey. Just a little bit of extra confidence in that shot. A little bit more rhythm as
Fifth
well.
leg, it's Shaun to
Wasn't
throw
greeting
first.
his teeth too much in that one. That one came naturally.
$44.
Nothing that Shaun Griffiths has touched tonight has turned to gold. In fact, in both of his matches, he has gone way above
84.
the statistics we've seen from him previously in Phase 5. He's raised his game, but it hasn't been enough. Right here, he's averaging 89.
100.
And he will be left wondering what he's done wrong. But you would expect in Champions Week finals to have the best opponents. And that has happened.
85.
There's no such thing as a group of death or having a tougher group than the other ones. It just doesn't happen. They're both very similar.
140.
When I looked at these groups a little bit earlier this morning, I thought both of them are tough. I couldn't have classified one as harder than the other.
100.
One thing's for sure, though. If Scutt does win this match by, say, 4 legs to 1 or 4 legs to 2,
140.
he will take huge confidence into the semi-finals. Shaun Griffiths is showing so much in the way of courage here and integrity. He does not want to leave without a win.
140.
And he's stalking Connor
Shaun,
on that
you
hockey.
77.
18 leaves tops.
Game shot in
And
the
that
fifth
was
leg.
very good
Shaun
indeed.
Griffiths.
His doubles have been good, but he has had trouble getting there at points in this match. That is now 2 hits from 3 attempts.
Sixth leg. It's Connor to throw first. Game on.
He's got a 93 average, and Connor is 6 below him.
140.
At this point, we have to say that if Shaun wins by 4 legs to 3,
100.
Robert is going to finish in 2nd position. That means he will be involved in the next match. In fact, just looking at all of the permutations for a third time, just to make sure I'm right, I think we're pretty much assured now of Robert Thornton in second spot in Group 2. So he will be involved in the first semi-final.
180.
And Connor Scutt is going to win this group. And he's going to take on Jim Williams in semi number 2. That is now confirmed.
94.
But it's almost as if Shaun Griffiths refuses to leave. He will leave this room when he is dragged out of it.
80.
I love that attitude. Can you imagine if that happened? Imagine if our security said, come on, you got to leave the room. And he says, I don't want
40.
to.
Shaun, you require 100.
Well, Connor Scutt's left 170. He might not get a look at it. He does now.
89.
It's not only for the win.
Connor, you require
it's for 500 quid. The 161 of Warburton is safe for now.
60.
But the destiny
Shaun,
of the 2 points in this match are anything but. Double top.
Game,
he has been so good on his doubles in this match so far. 3 hits from 4 attempts, and we are going to a 7th leg for the first time tonight. So over to you guys. Let's have one more leg before we hit the semis.
Shaun to throw first.
It also ensures that we've had every possible result
60.
In our first 6 matches tonight. We've had a 4-0, we've had a 4-1, we've had 3 4-2s, and 1 solitary 4-3 before we get to the semi-final stage.
83. $134.
Been a good performance from Shaun Griffiths, this. He's had some good games this week. But look at him in the background. He's like a boxer in the corner.
98.
Waiting for Michael Buffer to say, and hailing from Chorlton in Manchester, age 29, weighing in at whatever he weighs.
84.
I've never seen him like this before. I've known Shaun a long time. He does have that Darren
60.
Till look about him from mixed martial arts. One of the short hair in the back and sides from the same area of the country, the Northwest.
89.
And he's playing like a player who thinks that this is not the end. Thoroughly enjoyed this game, but Connor Scutt again leaves the 170. But Shaun is closer to the finish than he is. Double 16.
102.
That would have been for a finishing masterclass in this game.
Connor, you require 170.
And this would be the ultimate haymaker in a game. It would have been anyway.
134.
He leaves himself on double 18 if Shaun stutters one more time.
32.
But I don't think he will. Double 8.
Game,
and he gets the win.
And the match.
And an 18 darter is good enough to get himself 2 points in that one. He knows his destiny, that he's not going to make the semi-finals, but he has dented the confidence maybe of Connor Scutt just a little bit. It's a good performance, 50% on the checkouts in the end after missing a couple of doubles in that last leg. but 93 average. It's been a good night for Shaun Griffiths from a form perspective, but unfortunately, he falls just short in his quest for the last 4. We're going to take a break of about 10 minutes now as we get everything ready for the semi-finals. Our first semi-final is going to be Ryan Finesse against Robert Thornton. That is coming up towards the hour of 12 o'clock. It's going to be about 5 past, and it will be Halloween when we come back. So, happy Halloween in about 10 minutes' time. We'll see you then. Welcome back, everybody, and happy Halloween, because it's semi-final time here at the Phase 5 Champions Week Finals. It is the nitty-gritty time, and it's time to cash the biggest check that we have here at the Online Darts Live League. Well, semi-final 1 is going to be Robert Thornton against Ryan Finesse. So let's get down to the board to get cracking with this one. Two of the competitors from Group A
it's Ryan
from earlier in the week.
Game on.
They've taken a 2-day break from each other, but now it's knockout time. Win this game and you're in the
100.
final, and you will guarantee yourself £3,000 with the opportunity of doubling that.
45.
Lose this game and you will go into the 3rd and 4th place playoff, which will be against the loser of the next semi-final.
100.
And you will still have the chance to play for £2,000.
42.
But one thing we do now know is that Shaun Griffiths and Mike Warburton are gone. They leave us with £1,000 in their back pocket. And currently, Mike Warburton has the bonus of the biggest finish for an extra 500. So will his 161
27.
either be equalled
Ryan, you require
or
161.
It's not going to be equalled just now by Ryan. But he's getting a somewhat typical good start. He came through Group 1 with 0 stress.
11.
This semi-final has not started
80.
well for Robert. And Ryan's got the luxury of just setting
40.
up tops from that position.
$55.
I think we'll call this first leg
Ryan,
for Robert
you require 40.
a bit of a warm-up.
Game shot in the first
He has
leg.
lost it.
Ryan Furness.
And of course, there was no stress on that one for Ryan Furness, and he'll be hoping that that continues for the next 3 legs. For Robert's sake, I hope it doesn't.
Second leg, it's Robert to throw first.
That's better. That's where the treble 20 is.
100.
It does go missing from time to time in even great players' careers. It's only been a couple of weeks
96.
since Robert Thornton was in a final on a Saturday night where he lost to Mark Webster.
81.
He's looking to go 1 better than he has on 2 occasions. Both times he has been in a final, he has lost to a Welsh
180.
player. But Ryan Furness is in a bit of a mood right now.
100.
It's one of confidence, one of accuracy, and one of very good darts to watch.
60.
Wiltshire has produced some very good players over the years, but we've just seen maybe the first sense of weakness in the Ryan Finesse game, leaving
50.
165. He shouldn't have done that. Does that tell us that maybe he's not the most astute counter? 5 or well, he gets the 5.
125.
I was looking at his eyes. I didn't know what he was going to
170.
go for. But we know what Robert's going for. It's the bull.
132.
He misses the bull for the £500 bonus.
You require 40.
Or at least a share of it. But
Game
Ryan
shot in the
Finesse does
second
not
leg.
miss
Ryan
tops.
Furness.
2-0 up in a flash. Break of throw in the bank. And he is at the halfway point before Robert Thornton. And he's got lots of problems.
Third leg, it's Ryan to throw first.
They have played each other 3 times this week.
57.
And every game has been 4 legs to 3. Monday, won by Ryan. Tuesday and Wednesday, won by Robert.
100.
And let's not forget that Ryan has only lost 4 games this week. 2 of them have been to this guy.
97. 60.
Like I was saying at the end of the last leg, Wiltshire has produced some great players over the years. And when I think of Wiltshire,
96.
I always think of Dennis Smith. One of the best ponytails in sport. One of the most idiosyncratic darts throws you could ever wish to see. But one hell of a nice guy. Another person that springs to mind when it comes to Wiltshire is Johnny Haynes. Johnny Haynes, who has played here at the Online Darts Live League as well.
58.
And just to drop one more name, Chris Aubrey, an old friend of mine who doesn't play a massive amount of top flight darts anymore, but superb player he was.
60. Robert, you require 100.
Wiltshire is being carried tonight by the brilliance of Finesse. And if he finds the 91, he's going to be 3-0 up against one of the all-time greats.
87. Ryan, you require 91.
Double top again.
71.
Valuable misses.
Robert, you require 56.
You can't give Robert shots like this. That's why he gets himself into the semi-final, and he finally has a foothold, and it is a break of throw as well. So, what's going to happen next?
Fourth leg, it's Robert to throw first. Game on. $96.
Said it once, and I'll say it again. When you put him in a corner, you'll come out swinging. So how do you put him away? Get a shot at a double. Hit that double.
140.
Ryan had 2 shots to go 3-0 up there.
58.
And Robert's getting vocal. When Robert gets vocal, he's frustrated. He never says anything when things are going well.
60.
At this point, I can mention that I had a small text conversation with Ryan Finesse a couple of days ago, just to congratulate him on his Group A success. And he mentioned to me that he uses an old set of my darts that I designed about a decade ago. And he asked me if I had any more of them. And I said, I actually don't. They don't manufacture them anymore. But if anybody's got any more of these, he's after another set. So get in touch with Ryan Finesse. If you do have some, he'll happily buy some off you. They're a 20-gram Mark 1 Paul Nicholson dart from the Unicorn Company.
126.
Bullseye.
101.
Does Ryan Finesse go for the 19s as well? No, he's going for the 20s. Ryan has allowed Robert to come into 25. This semi-final. Double 4.
17.
It's his turn to miss 2 at double.
Ryan, you require 107.
Treble 17. Would have left a shot at double 18.
83.
But you sense that Ryan's not going to get more misses from the Scutt.
Game shot
and he doesn't. It's now 2-2. So it could have been 3-0 to Finesse with 1 leg to go to get to the final. But he's been dragged back into a scrap. It's level.
Fifth leg, it's Ryan to throw first. $60.
I think to a lot of the neutral fans out there watching this in the early minutes of Halloween,
85.
Their dream final is Thornton versus Jim Williams. That could happen.
120.
But you could get Ryan versus Connor Scutt, which could be a look at the future.
100.
2 players under the age of 30.
45.
Thornton's only 40 behind. This is on the Finesse throw. And he's making the most of it.
180.
Huge maximum. His first of the match comes right there. And is he about to hit the front?
$60. Robert, you require 136.
We've seen a couple of these yesterday. We might see another. Robert Thornton hits a 136 out.
Thornton.
That is a really big punch to the chances of Finesse making the final. He has hit the accelerator in the last couple of legs, and he's now playing like the great that he is.
To throw first. Game on.
It's a huge break of throw. He could have been 3-0 down. He's now 3-2 up.
83.
At this stage, a couple of weeks ago in the semis, he averaged massively. Around 109 to make the final in week 3 of qualifying. And then he lost in the final to Webster. If he wins one more leg, he will have 2 matches off
120
before he makes an assault on the Phase 5 Champions Week crown.
60. 140.
He looks ready to win. And all of a sudden, Ryan's average is going backwards.
100.
But the even stranger thing is, Thornton's average is only 83. That's because of that really poor first leg he had. Leaves a ton. And in every likelihood, he's going to have multiple visits for it.
100.
He does have multiple visits.
Robert, you require 100.
Tops to win. Double 10.
92.
He'll have double 4 next time. It all seems to have drifted away for Ryan in this semi-final.
57.
And just like last week, he might have to settle for 3rd place. Because Robert Thornton is in the final. He has won from 2-0 down, and he knows exactly what should have happened after the 3rd leg. He should have been 3-0 down, but because of that mistake from Ryan, he found a foothold, and he changed the entire game. He is now, after the 83.59 average, into the final against Connor Scutt or Jim Williams. That semi-final is just about to start, but before that, we're going to take a short break to collect our thoughts. When we come back, it's semi-final number 2, so don't go far. Welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. I am Paul the Asset Nicholson, and it's about time for the second semi-final of the night. Ryan Finesse has just been defeated in the first semi-final, so he awaits in the match after this in the third, fourth place playoff. But let's see who's going to join Robert Thornton in the final. He's cut a very interesting figure tonight, has Connor Scutt. He's been digging deep, and he's done enough to get to the last four. But he's up against a man who tonight is averaging very well. Lost to Ryan Finesse with a 98 average, then won
first leg
with a 98.
It's Connor to throw first. Game on.
You sense that maybe Jim Williams is ready to go a bit further than 98. If that is the case, then Connor Scutt might need one of those premium performances that we can get from him. As for Connor's performances tonight, it was brilliant against Thornton 55. In match 4. 94.15 average and 80% on the doubles. He did slip a bit against Shaun Griffiths, but he did enough in that match to qualify for this stage.
60.
There was one thing jumping off my research page, though, and that's the fact that Connor Scutt
120
in this room has never beaten Jim Williams. He's been defeated by him on 3 different occasions. And Connor strikes me as the kind of player that will know that. And in every single one of those games, Jim Williams has had a key
60
ton plus checkout. But when you're talking about ton plus checkouts, yesterday was borderline ridiculous when it comes to those kinds of things from this man. He's starting to get himself a reputation
82.
for being
Connor, you
the clinical
100.
dart player when it comes to those big checkouts. He finished his last match with a 1-3-1. One of the most difficult finishes in that region, but 2 double tops. Didn't need to go that
60.
route. That's why I found a bit of surprise in my voice there, but is this the time to be doing showman stuff? I'm not so sure.
99. Connor, you require
only the
40.
1 double top, Connor, will give you the first leg. Double 10.
30.
4 darts missed for the first leg.
Jim, you require 80.
This is for a first leg break. He will never be rushed. He'll go through his routine, and more often than not, he will hit.
$60.
Not on this occasion. And
Connor,
Scutt, who was in the
10.
same group as Jim Williams yesterday and on Thursday, does take a 1-0 lead on the throw with a 19 darter. He grasps that dart out of the board with a little bit of frustration, but look on the bright side. You are in the lead.
Second leg, it's Jim to throw first. Game on.
Let me just paint you a little bit of a picture when it comes to those ton plus checkouts then. Because in Group B, where both of these players were involved,
140.
Connor Scutt got the second most ton plus checkouts over the last couple of nights, with 3 of them. I'll give you 5 seconds to guess how many Jim got.
100.
And in true Les Dennis fashion, our survey said, yes, 10 of them. 7 more than the next person.
140.
One of them was a 161. I think this is a fascinating game between two players who have had a very good year. And Scutt equalises the score after 6 darts with that maximum. It is the first maximum of this semi-final.
$100.
We'll talk about their year as a whole in the next leg. Just wonder where this one's going to go. 121 after 9 is always a strong scoring leg.
57. Jimmy require 121.
Connor's given a shot at that 164. That would be the biggest one of the night. I did say if. Double 18.
103.
And if turns into when.
Connie require 164.
This would make sure that Mike Warburton does not get the £500 bonus because he's already out. Look at this. Oh, it nearly went in.
138. Jimmy
Interesting lead there from Connor.
18.
Treble 18 was the conventional shot. Decides not to go for the double 9. He's banking on 1 shot at double 8 out of 2 in hand.
Game shot in the second
Such
leg.
a good piece of composure there from Jim Williams because he wasn't really ready to deliver that dart at double 8, but he stepped back not once but twice, and it was the right thing to do.
Third leg, it's Connor to throw first. Game on.
The thing about this room is it's very quiet, and anything that happens in it, you will hear it.
140.
In some ways, it's more difficult to play in this room than it is with an audience of about 5,000 people. Because you will hear absolutely everything in this room.
140.
The squeak of a shoe, the squeak of a floorboard. That's why we've worked tirelessly to make sure that this room
57.
is as ready as it could possibly be. But as far as 2021 is concerned, when these guys look back at it, I'm sure they will look at it as very successful darts-wise.
141.
Jim Williams, winner of the Challenge Tour. Going to the Grand Slam. Going to the World Championship at Alexandra Palace for the first time. He's got 2 years on tour to look forward to in 2022 and 2023. He's already won Phase 3 here. He could win Phase 5. Just embellishing on what we already knew, that Jim Williams is an incredible dart player.
Connie require 170.
Connor has another crack at the biggest finish of the night. And again, he comes up short. Lovely approach, though.
Jimmy require 80.
The stats are good in this match. We'll touch on those in a second, but it's 25 and Bull first. I think he's going to hit this.
Game
because that guy was so pretty. Just from where he stands on that hockey, he could use that to its full potential.
Fourth leg would be Jim to throw first. Game on.
What a way to pull that out of the fire. I'm not even sure if Connor Scutt saw that, because in the background he's looking away from the board.
137.
He's trying to create his own little bubble in that room. And if that's the case, I think that's a very wise plan.
100.
But as far as Connor's year is concerned, he's had some good success here. ... because, of course, he can still get through to the final tonight and win. He is going to be playing for England. That was confirmed very recently, so congratulations for that. He was given his shirt alongside Aaron Monk, who has played a lot here this year.
$140.
But there's a lot for Connor to aim at over the next year and a bit, I feel. He will go to Q school come January, and he will be on the radar for a lot of people. But it's Williams who is starting to raise his game. And as soon as I say that,
140.
Connor Scutt comes up with an answer
167
to get himself on the more doable out. We could be looking at a very key point in this semi-final.
47.
With Jim only leaving 120 there,
Connie
should have been a lot less.
121.
Is he going bull first? No, he's not. Is he going bull last? Yes, he is.
88.
But the bull is not found by him.
Jimmy require
and
120.
This would change things. This would give Jim, for a small period anyway, a little bit of comfort. Didn't really scare
50.
It. You have to say it.
Connor, you require 33.
So to tie things up once again. Double 16 to break straight back.
One.
You can see his disappointment.
Jimmy
Williams could only
70.
leave 70 from 120. But if he takes this, it's 3-1. He's within one leg of the final. It's one dart at double 16 for 3-1.
38.
Misses just on the outside.
Connie requires 32.
Connor's already had a crack down here. Can he put it right?
Game shot.
Yes,
in the
he can.
fourth
It's
leg.
2-2.
Connor Scutt.
And we are going into a best of three now. There's a very different feel about this semi-final than there was in the first one. Best of three in this, and just hold on to your hats. What's about to happen?
Fifth leg. It's Connor to throw first. Game on.
It was the losses to Jim Williams over the last couple of nights that cost Connor Scutt the chance of winning Group B.
140.
If he had beaten Jim on those two occasions, he would have topped the group, and Jim wouldn't be here. Now, it's easy for me to say that in retrospect.
136.
But it's always fun to talk in those terms, because we already talked about the Ryan Furness 141 from about 8 days ago. If he didn't hit that
60.
shot, Carl Hamilton was going to hit that double 18. He wouldn't have been here tonight. He wouldn't have even been there on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, winning Group A. The ripple
100.
effect of a game of darts can be felt for years. Let me give you a really good example of that.
100.
The 2007 World Final between Raymond van Barneveld and Phil Taylor was fought in a last leg shootout, a sudden death leg, which had a bullseye shoot off first.
127.
As a result of that bullseye shootout, the rule was changed the next day. And we've played to the new rule for the last 15 years.
177.
What an approach from Scutt.
Jimmy require 138.
Exemplary stuff, that. And he might be just about to take the lead.
58. Connie
He deserves this shot
24.
at double 12 after that magnificent approach. Double 6.
Game
and he
shot in
finds the double
fifth
6
leg.
for a 3-2
Connor
lead.
Scutt.
He might be about to get his first win against Jim Williams. Jim will be hoping that he can find the last 2 legs, though, and he needs them now if he's going to make the final.
6th leg. It's Jim to throw first. Game on.
Jim Williams was everybody's favourite coming into this, based on current form, performance levels this week.
100.
I think a lot of people were saying, when talking about tonight, that it probably should be a Thornton against Williams final based on reputation,
57.
based on experience, success in this room. That possible final is hanging by a knife edge. All because Connor Scutt has really taken this game to Jim over the last couple of legs. It's a really good standard, both averaging 96. There's a real tempo to the throw tonight of Connor that I haven't seen before. It's a tiny bit slower. I don't know whether that's on purpose or not.
134.
But one thing we know about Jim is that when he's asked a very tough question, he does have the answers.
59.
He's an incredibly patient player. He doesn't rush anything. He's been involved in some unbelievable matches over the last few years.
60.
I go back to a game he played at the Indigo a couple of years ago against Mario van der Bogara of Belgium. And there's a player who you have to be patient with. Very good player is Mario.
85.
But he doesn't rush anything.
Jimmy require 152.
And Jim's patience was really, really tested that evening. And he came through that challenge. Is he going to stay upstairs for this?
92.
Treble 12, old school. See, I don't know about that. I think the 16s was the play there. If you get the single 16, you've got 56 left, which is single 16 for tops, with a clean bed to aim at. Here,
Jimmy requires
with that
60.
upright angle, it's going to be a dart in the way of tops. But that's a hell of a single.
$20.
And he's very lucky that Connor's on 163. Because everybody knows that you can't finish 163. But you can finish 32.
31.
So, Jim, you can't miss this.
Require 40. Game
And he
shot
doesn't
in the
miss.
sixth
It's
leg.
3-3.
Jim Williams.
So it's a one-leg shootout to see who plays Robert Thornton in the final. It couldn't have been a better semi-final, in my opinion. This is really tense.
7th and final leg. It's Connor to throw first. Game on.
It's all well and good getting those ton plus averages from 2 players and loads of brilliance, but these are the games I like. Because I've got no clue who's winning this game.
54.
94 average Scutt, 92 Williams. We haven't had a missed match dart at all, which is very fair for this contest so far, in my opinion.
80.
If you're asking yourself, why did Connor Scutt have the start in leg number 1? And in this last leg where he gets a 180, his second of the match, it's because he won his group. Jim didn't. And one of the bonuses of winning your group earlier
60.
is that you get the throw in the semi-final. It didn't work for Ryan Finesse. He got dumped out when he had the throw. But Scutt is using it.
65.
This might be the last chance for Williams to get back close to Scutt before he hits the jet stream. It's a great last start. Boy, did he need that. He's still a dart behind, though. Super smart. He could have stayed greedy on the 60. But his darting brain kicked in, and he left the 2-darter with the 25. And Williams leaves a 1-2-1 if Connor can't finish this.
Connor, you require 97.
To the wire we go. For the final, he's got 2 at tops. And to the final he goes with a great finish and a great last leg, it has to be said. He's upset Jim Williams, and he has guaranteed now that we will have a new phase winner in Phase 5. The only phase winner that we had in tonight's show has been dumped out at the semi-final stage. He was the better player, he had the better average, and the checkouts were good enough in the end. So it's going to be a second match between Scutt and Thornton on the night, but it will be for an extra £3,000. We're going to take a bit of a break now for about 10 minutes, but when we come back, it's going to be the 3rd, 4th place playoff between Ryan Finesse and Jim Williams. So don't go far. Hello all and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League for it's actually Sunday morning, it's not Saturday night. So we're going to go into the third, fourth place playoff now, and there is 500 extra pounds up for grabs in this one as these two have failed to make the final. The final will start shortly after this match, which will be best of 7 once again. And for the second Saturday in succession, Ryan Furness is playing in a third, fourth place playoff. Jim Williams has failed in his quest for a second phase win.
First leg will be Ryan to throw first. Game on.
And it is Ryan to throw first. Not because he's won a group, because he won a bullseye shoot-off
100.
about 10 minutes ago. That would have taken place just after Jim Williams was defeated by Connor Scutt in his semi-final.
140.
The winner of this match will walk away with £2,000. And the fourth place player will walk away with 1,500. But don't forget, that £500 bonus is still up for grabs if you can find a better finish than Mike Warburton and his 161 from earlier.
57.
The big bucks is on offer in the final. The loser of that final will walk away with £3,000, but the winner twice that amount. And the title of Phase 5 champion.
100.
I'm sure Jim is very disappointed. The way he's played tonight, he can be very, very proud of it. Averaged 98 in defeat to Ryan Finesse a little bit earlier tonight. So they're having their second meeting. And then after that, he won with a 98 average against Mike Warburton, which eliminated his Welsh buddy. In his semi-final, he averaged 92. So a little bit of a regression.
60.
But I wouldn't be surprised in this third, fourth place playoff to see them just a little bit flat.
56. Ryan, you require 141.
We saw 142 from Ryan Finesse a little bit earlier tonight against Mike Warburton. That's his biggest finish of the night so far.
55.
But since that win,
48.
he has not played as well. Jim Williams does get a break of throw in the first leg of this third place playoff. So maybe with his experience of playing long tournament days, he might be the favourite in this one.
Second leg is Jim to throw first. Game on.
I'd like to take this opportunity because we won't see Jim again before he tackles the Grand Slam of Darts, and the draw for that will take place in the coming days.
121.
I'd love to wish him all the best, because as someone who adores the Grand Slam of Darts, it was my television debut 13 years ago. Was it really 13 years ago? It's good to see the Grand Slam is going back to Wolverhampton as well.
96.
And Jim will get a crack at another tournament. And he will be sharp going into it, thanks to the Online Darts Live League.
43.
But as far as next week is concerned, I'll give you a reminder of who is coming up. I'm sure a lot of people will be excited to see
60.
Brian Roman, the Belgian player, playing with Keelan Kay, Kevin Finesse, Mike Warburton, after his disappointment tonight, will return
100.
Reece Colley and Nick Fulwell. That's your Group A for Monday morning from 9:30. And you can watch that via the Online Darts YouTube channel.
93.
Silly Jim leaving 162.
60. Ryan, you require 131.
Well, Jim's already hit this tonight. He hit it to win against Warburton a little bit earlier. Should be looking at treble 18 here.
55.
And if Williams gets another
Jimmy
ton plus
require
out to add to his
102.
plethora of them this week, he will be 2-0 up. Double 16.
Game shot in the
Yet
second leg.
another
Jim
ton
Williams.
plus checkout from Jim Williams. And for all of my colleagues who will be looking at Jim playing over the next couple of years, all I'm going to say to them
Third leg, it's
in the
Ryan
coming
to go
days
first.
is watch out for those combination shots, because he's hitting them so often it's becoming a trademark.
57.
Group B next Thursday and Friday night. They will be live on Sporty Stuff TV from
140.
10 p.m. Places 2 and 3 from the Group A table will not go through to the finals next week.
100.
They will have to go through Group B first, with Matt Dennant, Rob Collins and Shaun Griffiths returns after his disappointment from tonight. Group C,
48.
which will be via the Online Darts YouTube channel from 9:30 on Thursday and Friday morning, will involve the bottom 3 players from Group A,
180.
as well as Mark Hilton, Mile High, who has made the quarterfinals of the UK Open before, Josh Richardson, son of James Richardson, who has hit 2 9-darters this year,
140.
and David
Ryan requires
Vavrzewski.
164.
And I'm going to practice that name all week long until I get it right.
99.
Wawrzewski, I think, is the right way to say it. I've been getting some tutelage from a Polish friend of mine.
$40. Ryan, you require 65.
25 for tops. And that leaves 62. So he's got to go for 12 bull with a dart in the way.
Game shot
What
to third
dart?
leg. Ryan Furness.
It's as if that dart completely disappeared. Ghost-like on Halloween. He threw it through the dart to get leg
Fourth
3.
leg, it's Jim to throw first. Game on.
I hope everybody has a safe and enjoyable Halloween.
$180.
We have seen some scary stuff tonight, especially in that Robert Thornton Shaun Griffiths match, where the averages were in the nosebleed
120.
territory for the first 4 legs. It's still the best game of the night from the stats point of view. Williams is averaging 93 in this game at 2-1 up. And Finesse seems to be
60.
very comfortable in that mid-80s range at the minute. I have no doubt
82.
that he will get another invite back. But will we see Jim Williams again?
100.
One of the things about him playing in the Online Darts Live League
140.
is that he is an amateur currently. He's not on
Jimmy
the tour.
require 161.
He has a card next year, so he won't be able to play here.
$65.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last time we see him. And if it is, allow us to say bon voyage to
57.
JW.
Jimmy
He's
require
averaging over 8
96.
points more than Ryan tonight. And he's a good 5% better on the finishing. And that's why he's got this likelihood of winning this match. But that could be
56.
reversed with this finish here.
Ryan, you require 102.
No such luck. I'm not really sure why he went for the 60 on dart 2.
Jim, you require 40.
So many more options around the board. But Jim goes for tops. Should just cascade down the barrel. Or that one.
Game
and he does find tops for a 3-1 lead.
Jim Williams.
So he's within one leg now of walking away from phase 5 with £2,000. He has got one more leg to try and crack his friend's 161 though.
Fifth leg, it's Ryan throwing first.
I have it on good authority. From someone in the know. Someone who knows more than me.
37.
That all 6 players from tonight are playing in phase 6. So it's not bon voyage to Jim Williams just yet. But we will have a little sing-song for him in phase 6.
100.
To wish him well on his quest in the pro game. You just wonder in his
58.
pro career over the next couple of years just how quiffy his quiff will get. He has got some serious quiffs to out-quiff. The likes of Roby John Rodriguez
135.
and Josh Payne and some others. So Jim, when you do eventually leave us here at the Online Darts Live League for the Pro
42.
Tour, make sure that quiff is resplendent. I think he's going to do bits as well. I really do think he's got the game.
96.
I'm going to pitch my tent right now. I'm going to say
100.
that he's going to make a final
Jimmy require 170.
in his first year on tour. But does he hit this? There hasn't been a great deal of resistance coming back from Ryan in this match. He's only averaging 81. And Jim is very close to finishing the job in this third place playoff.
98. Jimmy requires
It just hasn't
70.
clicked for Ryan. He's made mistakes mathematically and tactically. But Williams hasn't made a great deal of mistakes at all. And he's got double 4 to finish the job here. And that's exactly what he does.
And a match.
A win
Jim
by
Williams.
4 legs to 1 reverses the result from a little bit earlier on where he lost to Ryan Finesse. You see an 88.95 average and really good checkouts of 57%. So phase 5 is over for Jim Williams and Ryan Finesse, and we now have only 2 players left to see who will be crowned the phase 5 champion. Will it be Connor Scutt or will it be the all-time great Robert Thornton? You'll have to stay with us to find out. It's coming up right after this. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Online Darts Live League. We've only got the one match left for you and it is the final of Phase 5 in Champions Week. So somebody is about to be crowned the Phase 5 champion. Will it be Scutt or Thornton? You might think that Robert Thornton is a clear favourite here. But based on current form, this is really tight. And we will discuss that over the course of the next 7 legs.
First leg will be Robert to throw first. Game on.
I suppose we hope it's going to be 7 legs. Robert Thornton will hope that it's only 4 in favour of him.
83.
First things first, they played earlier tonight and it was won by Connor in qualifying for the semi-finals.
140.
It was a good performance. 4 legs to 2, and boy would he take that again.
81.
But Robert has been very up and down over the course of this week. And both of these players are playing their 6th consecutive day.
120.
They've put in a real shift. First game, Thornton 107 average. Next game, 88.
140.
Next game, 83. So he's gradually, over the course of the night, got worse.
94.
Maybe he's about to go in the other direction again. Maybe he's about to get better.
59.
But this is going to be a rapid-fire game.
Require 142.
I actually thought that Connor was going to go for 2 treble 17s there.
89. Robert, you require 138.
He's used that bullseye well in this match so far. Robert nearly gets a shot at double 9.
98.
But Connor can strike in leg 1.
53.
Double top.
Game shot in the
And
first
that
leg.
is sharp
Connor Scutt.
as a Japanese chef's knife. That is brilliant to start this final. A real statement. 14
Second
darts
leg,
and a break of throw to start the final. Neither player in this final has won on a Saturday night before. They have failed
99.
in a final on a Saturday night before. Connor Scutt has lost to Jim Williams in week 1 of qualifying for Champions Week.
58.
Robert Thornton exactly the same. He lost to Mark Webster in week 3.
180.
The first 180 of the final comes from the Scutt.
100.
You've barely got time to catch your breath in this one. You really are going into a fast gear.
80.
So we will have a new name on the Roll of Honour for phase winners. Someone is about to join.
42.
Burnett,
Robert, you require 142.
Williams, and Barstow.
$42.
To some players, it's about being part of the history of an event. To others, it's about the money. To some other players,
58.
it's just about
Robert,
winning.
you require 100.
To Robert, it's about winning. He likes to be the
60.
last man standing.
Connor, you require
To know that he's better
160.
than everybody else on the day.
$94. Robert, you require
Double top.
40.
4-1.
Game shot in
And
the
that break
second
of
leg.
throw that he suffered in
Robert
leg 1 has
Thornton.
been extinguished. So he makes his way back to the 7'9¼ jockey to try and get himself a hold of throw for 2-1.
Third leg, it's Robert throwing first.
It's also Robert trying to make sure that a Scotsman wins a phase for the first time.
180.
Because we've had 2 Welsh players win and an Englishman. Both starting with a maximum
180.
in leg 3. This final has caught fire.
140.
Superb leg from Robert Thornton, who really has had a lot on his mind recently. His wife Christine has not been well.
140.
He very rarely needs to be motivated by exterior factors. Darts is enough.
127.
But I think what Robert's doing right now is he's using darts as an escape. What a leg this is from both
Robert,
players. 9
54.
darts thrown. Robert Thornton wins it in 11 and hits the front 2-1. That leg must have taken less than 60 seconds, and you must be sick of the sight of me. So, with that in mind, let's get back to the hockey for leg 4.
Fourth leg, it's Connor to throw first. Game on.
He's halfway to that £6,000 winner's check. The runner-up gets £3,000. And believe me,
100.
that's a lot of money in amateur darts. Before this final began, Robert was averaging 91.73 for the night. Connor, 92.1.
140.
They were so close together, and only 2% separated them in finishing.
40.
Their head-to-head record in the Online Darts Live League is level at 3-3. This is what I was talking about with it being hard to call.
135.
I was actively looking for things that would separate them. And I found a match that they played last year in a Players' Championship
132.
in Barnsley, where they were both alternates. And Connor Scutt won it by 6 legs to 2. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that it was a great game, because it wasn't. Connor won with an 83 average. But it's still a ranking PDC win over a double major champion.
Connie requires 68.
But this one is for more money. Double 2.
64.
And this is the game-changing shot.
Robert, you require 92.
82 left. It's got to be 42 tops.
44.
He's going to be livid.
Connie, you require 4.
Giving this chance to Connor, and he gobbles it up to level things up, and he clamours for that dart out the board. He gives it Darren Webster style and grasps it. It's best of 3 for $3,000.
Fifth leg, it's Robert to throw. Game on. $96. $100.
There's an urgency about Connor Scutt now. The way he looks at the board, the way he is virtually sprinting towards retrieving them from the board. He's wired now and ready to do what he does best. And he's letting Robert know how he feels. What we're seeing from these players is brilliant darts. They're both around the 100 average. Robert hasn't missed a double. He's 2 from 2. Connor's 50%. That's not too shabby.
130.
But the speed of this game is graduating to fast. Had to go up top, and that's a great re-switch.
Connor, you require 91.
But Scutt has scored better. Tops for an 11 darter for him.
71.
Can Thornton break his heart and get the hold he wants? That's right in the middle. That's in as well in the left corner. That is a world-class 120 checkout, because look at this. He can only see half the bed. From the left-hand side, he finds his old pal, double top, for a 3-2 lead.
Sixth leg, it's Connor to throw first. Game on.
Superb final. You couldn't ask for more.
140.
You could try. But Scutt is averaging 103, and he's losing 3-2 to a solid 100 average from Robert Thornton, who wouldn't tap out if Kurt Angle put him in a neck hold.
140.
I love watching these two play. I'm getting a real rush from it. I hope you guys are as well. It's the kind of game
100
that's going to make you reach for the brandy. It's such a shame that one of these have got to lose this. Every now and again, when there's something on the line, two players show us what they can do to each other.
Colin, you require 164.
Are we going to go to a last leg decider for the entire prize?
41.
It will depend maybe on what Robert does now. That was mega aggressive. He should have gone for 25 and bull, but he's got 65 for the title if Scutt does not hit it now, and he's not going to. So Thornton gets his first chance to win Phase 5,
66.
And it could well be on that best friend double 65. That has won him so much money. 17 leaves that double.
45.
The first start he has had to win it misses, and it might be the only one he gets. Double 10 to survive.
37.
And Robert gets more to win on double 10.
20.
And he does win the whole thing. Robert Thornton is your Phase 5 champion after an incredible final of darts between those two gladiators. I want to watch that all over again. 99 for Robert Thornton, 98 for a valiant Connor Scutt. That was an encapsulating final, fought over 6 brilliant legs of darts. And I really hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I'm sure you could sense from my voice and my volume just how brilliant that final was. But Robert Thornton is the champion of Phase 5 and is the first Scottish player to win a phase here this year in 2021. It's been my distinct pleasure to bring you the end of Phase 5. Phase 6 will begin on Monday morning at 9:30. But to everybody who tuned in late tonight, I really do wish you a fantastic Halloween. Have a wonderful time, and I will see you soon, because for now, This is the Asset signing out. Good night, everybody.